chose to be written in our story, so he could feel our flesh and blood, and we could know his love. Emmanuel, a manger in a bed, no crown upon his head, he came like us instead. Emmanuel, he meets you where you are, he holds your heavy heart, our God is with us all. It was no mistake that he arrived, lost without a home and helpless as a baby. So if we're feeling lost in our own lives, we are not alone. He has felt the same thing, because he lived in flesh and blood. We can know his love. Emmanuel, a manger for a bed, no crown upon his head, he came like us instead. Emmanuel, he meets you where you are, he holds your heavy heart, our God is with us all. Is for us to come and offer him our all, to kneel before the child who shall be called Emmanuel, a manger for a bed, no crown upon his head, he came like us instead. Emmanuel, he meets you where you are, he holds your heavy heart, our God is with us all. Emmanuel, Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, he meets you where you are, he holds your heavy heart. Our God is with us all. It wasn't until my teen years that my family began to not have to struggle financially all the time. And my mom would go all out with Christmas decorations, decorating our house, finding ways to make the season special. Twinkle lights, beautiful ornaments, special music, family gatherings, and traditions had almost a magical effect that brought a reprieve from the constant struggle and worry that had previously hung over our household. I loved Christmas. I found out I was pregnant 3 weeks before Christmas, the year I was 15. No twinkle lights, traditions, or special music could offer relief from the struggle, worry, and fear that had set up residence in my heart. I was lost, alone. Over the next few months, that struggle intensified until Jesus met me where I was and I surrendered my all to him. Christmas the next year was a beautiful experience. I was growing and knowing the one celebrated. I understood the reality of Christmas and his coming in a way I never had before. He was with me every moment, even when I felt abandoned and betrayed by others. I was a teen mom, working hard to raise my daughter well and get through school and honor God with my life when my father died suddenly and tragically a week after I graduated. Another significant relationship ended abruptly only 2 months after that. I had no desire to celebrate anything that year. I felt lost in life, very much alone, desolate. Each day was a forced going through the motions. My sister and her family were stationed in California, but they walked through the front door on Christmas morning, surprising us all. God met me in that moment, using her physical presence as a balm to my spirit. I knew He knew my needs and deepest desires and was with me, even in my heartbreak. Once I got married, I experienced the joy of the season for several years with my husband Frank and our 2 children, Hannah and Anthony. We didn't have much, but I enjoyed doing all I could to make the holiday special, just as my mom had done. Then one year, 2 weeks before Christmas, we experienced a miscarriage. I hated Christmas. The joy-filled people, decorations, and carols felt like vinegar on my wounds. My heart was heavy for a long time, but by the next Christmas, we were expecting the birth of our 3rd child, Veronica. Over the years, I experienced healing and enjoyed Christmas again, but it was never the same. Although our Christmases were not lavish affairs, and I had experienced enough to know that a holiday itself cannot hold the promise of joy, I was really looking forward to celebrating Christmas this year with our family that had grown to include a son-in-law, 2 grandchildren, and just this past May, a daughter-in-law. On June 30th, my son experienced a medical emergency. As the EMTs were working on him in the house, my daughter-in-law and I waited together in my car praying. From the depths of my soul, I begged for the presence of God to be with us no matter what the day ahead held. Immediately, I was aware that His name is Emmanuel, literally, God with us. A peace tangibly filled that space as I begged God for Anthony's life, recited back to God what His word says about who He is, what He can do, and declared our faith that no matter what, we would stand on the truth of God and His word as long as He remained with us. Anthony met Jesus face to face that morning. Devastation and heartbreak, like I have never known, descended on me that day. God's presence doesn't always look like I think it will. My heart is the heaviest it has ever been, despite this enormous, gaping Anthony-sized hole. I feel utterly shattered. I'm absolutely helpless in this grief and would be consumed were it not for Emmanuel, God with me. With me through the practical love and care provided by His people. With me as I weep with my husband, our family, or alone, but am not consumed. With me as I learn to live each day without my son's physical presence. The holy invitation to His presence may not look like we imagine, but when we are helpless, heartbroken, lost in our lives, we are not alone. His invitation is open to you too. He will meet you where you are and hold your heavy heart. So often we imagine and sing of God coming to save us in a most triumphant and obvious display of power and authority. And sometimes in this life He does. Someday He most definitely will. But in this Christmas season, and until that glorious day, no matter what is happening in life, I invite you to experience with me that He is Emmanuel, God with us.